What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today I have the August 2026 random model airport update for you guys. This one is of Dallas-Fort Worth Concourse E. I hope you guys are excited for this video, and I'm really excited for this video, of course. First of all, there's no GSC for these guys, just because this took a long time for me to set this up. But yeah, I'm just excited to go through every single one of these aircraft. Of course, some of the stuff isn't as realistic, but some of this is. And then, of course, as you can see in the back, this is where Aviation Expo 2027 will be in Dallas, June 24th to 27th. Head out the Embassy Suites by Hilton DFW Airport North. But yeah, we'll get started. So pretty much this is like the domestic concourse. Like pretty much everyone that isn't an international airline or American will fly out of here. The reason I do have American Mainline here, American Mainline don't really park here. I just want them just so I could fill up some gates and stuff like that. Although realizing now I could easily fill it up with some more gates for these airlines over here. But I want to show you basically because I don't have nearly as many American aircraft I could like do to at least one concourse. So I decided to put that here. But without further delay in the flight, let's get started. Starting us off right here with a Sun Country 737 Edge of Minnesota Gophers livery. This guy's gonna be heading over to we're gonna say Las Vegas for him after arriving in from there. Actually no, we're gonna say he arrived from Minneapolis, heading out to Las Vegas. Sun Country do have like an operating base out of here. It's not like their headquarters, but it's like a focus city for them. But yeah, arriving in from Minneapolis, heading out to Las Vegas. Then this guy is gonna be heading over to Bravo. This is a Breeze A220-300. Breeze is relatively new. They only have Bravo out of here, but it's cool to see Breeze here. And again, he's doing the turnaround, arriving in Bravo, and he'll be heading back out to Bravo. Okay, so now we have our American Eagle section with the E-gates. American has like a little bit of a regional section, so this is what we have here. So right here we have the American Eagle CRJ-700. We're going to say this guy arrived in from Colorado Springs, and he'll be heading over to Amarillo in Texas. Then right here we have the American Eagle E170. He arrived in from Brownsville, Texas, and he'll be heading over to Baton Rouge in Louisiana. Then we have this E175, this is Envoy. He's going to be heading over to, where should we send this guy out to? We're going to say Wichita, Kansas, after arriving in from, I don't know, where should we send this guy? I'm drawing blank at the moment. We'll go with Albuquerque for him. I'm not sure if they fly there on regionals, but we're going to send him there anyway. Then right here we have our second E175. We have this American Eagle E175. This is the Legacy Jets release. He's going to be heading over to, again, just drawing a little blank. We're going to just fill it up with some Texas routes. He's riding from Midland, Texas, and he'll be heading over to Houston Hobby in Texas. As I do know, they fly to Houston Hobby. And then right here we have this Republic Airways E175. Of course, Republic doesn't fly in here. Well, they don't have a base out here. It's like Envoy. But we're going to say this E175. He arrived in from, we're going to say Columbia and Kansas. I believe that's, or in Columbia, Missouri. I think that might be it. And then he'll be heading out later to Omaha. Then right here, our only Frontier aircraft. I know Frontier do have like a base out of here. This is my only Frontier aircraft at the moment, as I gave my A320 away to JJ Aviation. By the way, JJ, I hope you're happy with that. Well, I know he is. That man's on a Frontier grind. But anyway, this A320 Neo, he just arrived in from Denver, and he'll be heading over to Atlanta. I did fly out of DFW to Denver, technically twice. Well, I've been to DFW Airport like twice as well, but yeah, riding in from Denver and heading out to Atlanta. Now starting us off with American again, like American Mainline don't fly out of here. These gates at least, they fly out of pretty much every other concourse beside this one. Well, Mainline at least. Here this A321 Neo arrived in from Los Angeles, and he'll be heading over to Boston. Then we have this American 737 MAX 8. Let's see if I can get a better shot of that. This MAX 8 arrived in from Santa Ana, California, and he'll be heading over to Portland, Oregon. American A321 arrived in from Charlotte, and then he'll be heading over to Phoenix. American A320 arriving in from San Antonio, Texas, and he'll be heading over to New Orleans, Louisiana. Then we have this American A319 arriving in from Raleigh-Durham. Although this route would not be on the A319, he's arriving in from Raleigh-Durham anyway, and he'll be heading over to, where should we send this guy out to? We're gonna say Colorado Springs for him, even though but would be more realistic on 737. And you can't have a DFW airport update without the classic American Airlines MD-83 or the Mad Dog. This guy is going to be heading over to Tulsa, Oklahoma after arriving in from there, the home of CM Aviation. And then, this is also one of Connor's original airports. Not the E-Gates itself, but DFW Airport. So I'd recommend go checking out his playlist for that. And then also Tulsa Airport updates too. Then starting us off with pretty much every single other airline that flies out of these gates. Here we have the Avelo 737-700. Of course, they don't fly these anymore, so this model is kind of useless. But I'm just waiting for some release of 737-800, and they might be getting the E2, so that's something cool. But anyway, this guy's be heading over to New Haven after arriving in from there. Avelo is also a new, breeze. Yeah, arriving from New Haven, heading back out there. Then right here we have our JetBlue A320. He's arriving in Fort Lauderdale after arriving in from New York JFK. Great to see Fort Lauderdale on here, although I believe that's another one of those routes covered for Spirit, as they did also have an operating base out of here. But yeah, arrived in Fort Lauderdale, heading over to New York JFK. Then we have our one Delta aircraft. This would not be realistic. You'd see maybe 3 here at a time. Here we have a Delta A220-300. He will be heading over to Seattle, Tacoma after arriving in from Atlanta. Of course, Atlanta would basically be on a A321, A320, like that. And then we also have Minneapolis, Detroit, New York, LaGuardia. So they have a good amount of destinations out of here. But yeah. Then just arriving in from Seattle itself, here we have, well, it's a nice shot. We'll start off on the bottom screen with this Alaska 737 MAX 9. He arrived in from Seattle as well, and he'll be heading to Portland. Alaska does also have San Diego. Then we have in the middle with a United 737-900ER. He will be heading over to Denver after arriving in from Newark earlier today. Of course, United does have Chicago here, and then I believe they also have Houston, so that's cool. And I think you actually can see the 737-700 here, so that's cool. And then the way back, we have the Air Canada Airbus A320. He will be heading over to Toronto Pearson after arriving in from Montreal, although Montreal, I hear, is mainly on an A220-300. So yeah, that was basically the airport update. I actually really like putting the setup together. I'm shocked how much I actually really like the whole setup of this. So this may be controversial, but anyway, leave a comment down below. Or if this gets to at least, we'll say 10 likes, then I may consider doing this concourse at least as a regular airport update series. Or maybe I'll do this and say the international terminal. I don't know, is that the G gates? I think. Where flagship DFW will park if it's here. Unless if it heads out to JFK or something like that. But yeah, honestly, it's just so cool. It's honestly one of my favorite airports in the world. Even though I haven't flown out of here as much, it is a really nice airport. Also, I like the sort of round, rotunda half thing, sort of, that they have here. Kind of reminds me of, the old Kansas City terminal. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have a whole lot to say. Other than that, thank you very much all for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.